Greetings, Dragon Ball fans. Welcome to my first What If. I'd like to do something a little different with these, so there are going to be two main changes. The first, from the title, is the most obvious. What if Vegeta killed Gohan? I know there are a few scenarios like this already out there, but I just want to use this as the catalyst for the second change, which we will get to at the end of part 2. We will begin this particular tale with Vegeta having lost his own, and to his shock, discovering another. Having just recovered from being spirit bombed by Goku and Krillin, he notices that little Gohan also has a tail. Not wanting to take any chances this time, Vegeta blasts the boy, killing him. Oh, Goku's going to blow his stack, right? Well, no. Goku is currently lying on the ground somewhere, unable to move, barely even conscious. So, I'm sorry, but there will be no early Super Saiyans happening here. As the prince stands there congratulating himself on a job well done, he feels a slight pinch. Looking down, he sees the gleaming, blood-streaked tip of Yajirobe's sword poking out of his chest. Instead of blindly striking at him this time, Yajirobe took the chance to run him through. All praise the hero, Yajirobe! Arriving in Otherworld, Gohan is greeted by Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, Piccolo, and Kami. At King Yama's direction, everyone but Kami starts towards Snake Way. Gohan, however, pauses to ask his master Piccolo why that older-looking Piccolo isn't coming too. Kami says that he is much too old and weak, so he'll just hold everyone back. And besides, he wants to be here at the check-in station so he can get back to Earth as soon as everyone is revived. This way, he will be able to collect the Earth's Dragon Balls without any unneeded delay. All that drama with Goku getting back in time? Yeah, that wasn't forgotten. Gohan thinks about this for a second, then asks, can't he just get wished back to a certain place? Smiling, Piccolo agrees and tells Kami to shut up and come along now. With the help of Kami's magic providing a boosted flight speed, they arrive at King Kai's world in only 3 weeks. That's less than half the time it took them originally, and I know it was meant as filler, but seriously, what the hell, Goku? It took you 7.5 months to get there. Jeez. Anyway, on arrival, the dead fighters all manage to pass their trials fairly quickly, and start training under King Kai. Having seen and felt its power firsthand, Gohan is determined to learn that Kaioken thing. He excitedly drags Piccolo along for the ride. Because of this, all but the elderly Kami start to pick it up to varying degrees as well. Piccolo actually succeeds in learning Kaioken the fastest. With the few weeks he has there, he is pushing past the base ×2 and is actually scratching at ×3. On the other hand, Yamcha and Chaozu are still only scratching at ×2, even after the months they will have there to practice. Gohan and Tien are able to learn it within their time there as well. But this means that Gohan does not even start to learn the Spirit Bomb, as his focus is squarely on learning this fascinating key manipulation technique. Being around all these younger, more capable fighters, Kami talks to this now vastly different Piccolo about wanting to be able to do more as well. When they get revived, maybe he should wish for youth as well, so the Earth will stay protected. Piccolo scoffs at wasting a wish on something so trivial. He suggests that Kami should just make an egg, like the late King Piccolo did. Just, not a warrior type this time. Assuming Kami didn't put too much of his life force into the egg, there'd then be 3 Namekians on Earth. Maybe even 2 sets of Dragon Balls. Kami's a bit skeptical of this. While Goku and Krillin recover in hospital, Mr. Popo shows Bulma around the ancient ship that the nameless Namekian arrived in. She spends the week fixing it and then learning the Namekian language, since Mr. Popo doesn't want to leave the lookout. After traveling for 5 weeks, Bulma, Krillin, and Chi-Chi arrive on Namek. Wait, why are you dragging her into this? Besides, aren't there already several different what-ifs where Chi-Chi becomes a Z-fighter? Well, yeah, okay, but, her son died. She had raised that boy for years without incident, then she lets Goku look after him for just 1 day. Not only does he get kidnapped for a year, but then he gets murdered by Goku's space cousins? Chi-Chi is as pissed at herself as she is at Goku. She is certainly motivated enough to personally get her hands on those Dragon Balls. Knowing that she's well behind everyone else skill and power-wise, Chi-Chi bites a particularly sour bullet. She asks Krillin to train her as best he can on their trip. Providing a useful distraction from Bulma's particular choice in clothing, the training actually goes quite well. Krillin is pretty chuffed with himself when he succeeds in teaching Chi-Chi how to draw out her ki. She also quickly learns the solar flare, and then they work on how to fly. She can certainly do it, but kind of awkwardly. Think Videl, pre-25th World Martial Arts Tournament. Maybe she even ends up saving them from one of their many filler-related encounters. Back on Earth, Yajirobe arrives with a pouch of Senzu from Korin, and now healed Goku heads straight to Capsule Corp, where Dr. Briefs has finished the upgraded ship. Once out in space, the slightly guilty-feeling Goku dives headfirst into gravity training. First 10, 20, then 50, then 100 Gs. After recovering from his bout with 100 Gs, he pushes even higher. On the plus side, he is stronger on arrival. Downside, however, is that he's munched on a few extra senzu. Over on Namek, Krillin and Chi-Chi arrive at Dende's village to see Frieza and his troops demanding their ball. Chi-Chi struggles to watch the warriors getting slaughtered by Dodoria, right in front of those children. Despite her meager power, Krillin can tell she's about to do something foolish. Before she can fly off, though, Krillin grabs her arm and tells her to keep her power down as much as she can, and then fly up towards the sun. When he gives the signal, use the solar flare. Remember? Just like I showed you, okay? Krillin then flies around to the side, then dives in, catching Dodoria off guard as she's about to kill the second of the 3 Namekian warriors. Krillin lands next to Mori, and then tells all the villagers to look away. While surprised at the new arrival, the Namekians are not about to refuse help. All but the 2 remaining warriors turn away slightly as Krillin raises his hands. At this signal, Chi-Chi also raises her hands to her face, and they produce a double solar flare. Krillin says that they need to leave now. Anyone who can fly picks up whoever can't, and they all leave. The partially blinded warriors are guided by their ability to sense energy, and maybe some tips from their friends. Once at a safe distance, Krillin starts talking to Mori about those soldiers, and mentions their scouters being a huge problem. They can sense energies, and possibly the Dragon Balls as well. Flying low and slow, they all keep their powers as suppressed as possible, as they are led to Guru's tower. Outside, they meet Piccolo? Nail. He greets them and then takes the 2 warriors aside to chat. Mori takes Krillin, Chi-Chi, and Dende in to speak to Guru. After hearing their story and sensing their good intentions, Guru bestows upon them their much-needed potential unlocks. Afterwards, an also unlocked Dende says that he will go with them to help talk to the villagers and heal people where needed. Chi-Chi's low starting point should be less of a problem now, since hopefully the potential unlocks would look at what is possible, not where they are right now. However, having very little practice, her badly suppressed ki skyrockets. Afraid that Frieza has been alerted to their presence, Guru gives them the Dragon Ball and tells them to flee. They make their escape with the Dragon Ball and Dende, while desperately pushing their ki down. Having first dropped their loot off at the ship, Frieza and co head towards these strange energy spikes that showed up on the scouter, and head towards Guru's tower. Noticing that the radar now shows 4 Dragon Balls not moving, while 3 large powers move away from them, Krillin tells Chi-Chi and Dende to head back to Bulma, while he'll scout out those 4 balls. He discovers Frieza's ship, surrounded by soldiers. After watching for a while, he sees his opening and manages to sneak in. There, in Frieza's chamber, lie 4 balls, all alone. Frieza arrives at Guru's tower and tells Dodoria to deal with these insects. Nail fairly easily slaps Dodoria down, while the other 2 Namekians deal with the fodder soldiers. Once that's dealt with, knowing that they can't win against Frieza, Nail draws the little tyrant off to fight somewhere else. When they are far enough away, the 3 Namekians face Frieza. Before they attack, though, the 2 weaker ones instead turn on Nail and place his hands on their chests. With a flash, they vanish. Things go about as badly for Nail as you'd expect. Wait, seriously? Surely with their powers combined, they are Captain Namek, right? Well, by himself, Nail was hilariously outmatched by Frieza's first form. Also, they just fused. There's no way for him to have acclimated to this. So for this early fusion, we'll put Nail at around 2/3 as strong as the Little Emperor. If you really want a number, we'll use 350,000. As Chi-Chi and Dende head towards Bulma, Dende can sense another village under attack, so at his urging, they change course. On arrival, they find a certain yellow-skinned alien-themed alien shooting up the villagers, demanding their ball. Yep, this is that village that Vegeta never got around to destroying, seeing as, he's dead. A powered-up Chi-Chi handles herself surprisingly well, and quickly dispatches this lone soldier. This saves quite a few of the villagers. Seeing her rescue them, and then meeting Dende, the villagers hand over their Dragon Ball without complaint. When they get back to Bulma with their now 2 balls, they find Krillin surrounded by 4 more. Krillin is, of course, not sure if he should be slightly pleased with himself, or worried that Chi-Chi and Dende hadn't made it back yet. But then Dende tells Krillin about the village they saved. His congratulations to Chi-Chi on her good performance are cut short when Zarbon lands. He had followed Chi-Chi and Dende from that village. Despite their increasing power, Zarbon is still more than a match for Krillin and Chi-Chi. After defeating them soundly, he collects their 6 Dragon Balls together, and feeling pretty smug, and, pretty in general, he takes a moment to flirt with these 2 equally pretty women. He tells Chi-Chi he is impressed that she managed to defeat that soldier. She has skills, if not an abundance of power. Bulma is initially quite taken with him, of course, but a sour look from Chi-Chi sets her straight. I mean, there was no Vegeta here to be rescued from, so, As Zarbon takes offense at Chi-Chi's unwillingness to join him, he failed to notice that Krillin has been a busy, busy boy. Zarbon moves in to teach this silly woman a lesson when his scouter suddenly screams at him. A Destructo disc comes slicing through. A visibly shocked Chi-Chi retrieves the one ball still in the clutches of Zarbon's now headless torso. They gather up the other 5 balls, and Bulma gingerly takes Zarbon's scouter. She turns off the radio and offers it to Chi-Chi to help her track energies and that last ball as well. After an exhausting and fruitless search for Guru's ball, and then the one from the destroyed and deserted village that Zarbon had flown off to, Frieza returns to his ship to find his chamber completely empty. Honestly, what's the point in handing out the last of these precious, not to mention kind of expensive scouters, if nobody actually uses the damn things? He orders the ship's guards to call the Ginyu Force, then sets a few examples. Wanting to relocate away from Zarbon's corpse, the gang head off towards the last Dragon Ball. After dropping Bulma off somewhere relatively safe, they head in to find this village is also deserted. The scouter and dragon radar both show the ball moving away randomly. After a few days chasing the blip down, they manage to locate a villager hiding with the ball in a cave. Finally able to summon Porunga, and with that suggestion from Gohan, via King Kai, Dende wishes for Piccolo to be brought back to life on Namek, and then for Kami to be moved to the lookout. They start to wish for Piccolo to be brought to them. However, having noticed the sky, and then the massive dragon looming over the horizon, an enraged Frieza interrupts and demands his wish. As Dende starts to speak, Guru decides that it is as good a time as any to have his heart attack. Piccolo arrives somewhere on Namek and flies off towards the power levels. Conveniently, he comes across the dying Nail, and they still fuse. So who hosts the fusion though? In the original series, Piccolo was somewhere around as strong as Goku was when he originally landed on Namek. Here though, I think he'll be quite a bit stronger. Just like Goku will be. Yay, power creep. Okay, so let's say Piccolo was at... Oh god, numbers. Okay, let's say that Piccolo was at 124,000 on arrival, to match Goku. Whoa, wait, what? So, in the original series, Piccolo was with King Kai for just 6 days. In that time, he went from 3,500 to just below Goku at 85,000, suppressed. This time around, he's had a solid 3 weeks. Also, instead of sitting on his duff napping, or, meditating, this time has included actual training with both his eager student and the 3 others. Not to mention some interesting, deeply telepathic meditation sessions with his other half, Kami. Because Gohan was there to draw him out of his shell, Tien, Yamcha, and yes, even Chaozu got in on some of this good training action. Piccolo also has the best grasp of Kaioken of the bunch. Was Piccolo an absolute beast before meeting Nail? Why yes, I think he was. And Nail can sense the latent Kaioken-sourced power deep inside of Piccolo. So he lets Piccolo host this particular party. This should put Big Green on a par with third form Frieza. Okay, let's say it starts at 4 million and increases a bit as he acclimates to the fusion, capping at, 7? Yeah, 7 million is nice. Not double, but pretty close. Anyway, Kami also appears on the lookout, reactivating Earth's Dragon Balls, and he and Mr. Popo immediately head off to collect them. Okay, so another slight sidetrack here. Piccolo, and by extension Kami, both died the day after they wished for Goku to be resurrected. They then spent slightly less than 2 months dead in the other world, before being resurrected by Porunga. And now the Earth's Dragon Balls are active again. Well, that's a gaping plot hole if ever there was one. Maybe being resurrected instantly reprimes the balls? Yeah, sure, let's go with that. So, anyway, an increasingly unlocked Chi-Chi and Krillin manage to dodge out of the way of Frieza's attack. And then, once again, blind Frieza with another double solar flare. After some time recovering, Frieza taps the scouter he retrieved from the dead guard's body, and, almost all of his soldiers are dead. Oh well, he can easily track down those pesky humans now. He quickly overtakes and stomps Krillin into the ground. He then tail grabs Chi-Chi, slowly crushing her as he walks over and picks up the unconscious Krillin. After blasting a hole through the poor fellow's chest, Frieza turns his attention to the helpless, gasping Chi-Chi. A nail-infused Piccolo bursts into the scene as Chi-Chi is about to pass out. He proceeds to absolutely wreck Frieza's already rather disappointing day. This causes him to drop the nearly unconscious woman. While a very confident Piccolo beats on an impotently raging Frieza, Dende creeps in to heal Krillin and then Chi-Chi. Feeling a bit cocky, as most recently powered-up characters in this series tend to do, Piccolo allows Frieza to transform into his larger, second form. Except this time, Piccolo's confidence is not without merit, as he continues to stomp relentlessly on second form Frieza. Soon finding himself buried under a mountain, Frieza checks his scouters and sees a slightly suppressed 4 million. 4.2? Now it's 4.3? Frieza had no idea there were Namekians this strong. Maybe that lead guard had used his scouter, and these sneaky people are hiding their power somehow. Maybe he shouldn't have killed him so callously. Frieza transforms into his third form. Seeing this, Piccolo decides it is now time to break out the Kaioken. At times, too, he is still easily able to outmatch Frieza's third form. When it's Piccolo's turn to dig himself out of a mountain, a truly frustrated Frieza takes this moment to slip into something a little more comfortable. Well, this brings part 1 to a close. Piccolo's time in the other world and his fusion with Captain Super Nail? Super Nail, have certainly helped carry them through despite Vegeta's absence. But what does fate have in store next for the Z Fighters? How will Piccolo fare against Final Form Frieza? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. What if Vegeta killed Gohan?